filming outside. It always seems like a great idea until you go there. Hello humans, I have no idea how windblown this microphone will be. I did remember the wind cover this time, so I have high hopes. We're doing a Q&A today. Yes, we are. I asked you on Twitter for your Qs, and I'm giving you my As. If you're newer here, because there are a lot of new people, I do this every now and then. I go out and about. It's my quests and adventures Q&A. I didn't come up with that, but I steal it for my own. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, by the way, this is Killerly State Reserve, and this is Sporticus, my car. He was old when I bought him, so I can pretend the scrapes weren't mine. Katie McMahon, I'm absolutely loving your Wolfgang series, thank you. I'm curious, what's it like directing your friends? Do you have any advice for collaborating on creative projects with pals? It's super weird, because I went into this thinking that I wouldn't have to be a director. Like, I thought, hey, we're all actors, and I trust us as actors. We can go in, and we can just, like, perform the script and it'll be fine. And for the most part, I'm not directing their acting, but this series was a massive wake-up call as to what a director does. Like, I somehow thought it was just like telling people what to do in a scene, but no, there's so much. It's all organizing schedules and trying to sort of make things work and getting things together ahead of time and making sure that everything sort of pans out. It's, oh my gosh. So I can't really give you any like helpful advice when it comes to collaborating with friends. I can commiserate that it's like super weird if you're the one running the project, but also very fun and very rewarding. I think honestly, if you're gonna collaborate on a creative project with friends, either decide at the beginning that no one's in charge at all and make it kind of free-for-all and take the risks there, or decide who is in charge and take those risks, because leaving it nebulous makes it harder and weirder when decisions do have to be made. That's it. That's the best advice I have for that very excellent question. If you could have any MCU superhero as a sex slave, who would you have in your naked puzzle basement and why? I would not have any, because that is called rape, and not really down with that. How quickly did you think up that hashtag? You mean my brilliant hashtag? I don't know how to say it actually. It's a great pun when it's written down. I like to say it, Kingsmill, but then with my accent that sounds like a little weird. The answer is very quickly, and I'm very proud of myself. Magnesium O2, as you are going bush, in quotation marks. Nice. Have you had any interesting, hilarious interactions with animals in the wild? I've mentioned a bunch of times now that time I accidentally delivered a litter of stingray babies. So I grew up in a town called Nowra, which is kind of it's a small town. It's like a dairy farming community, and so growing up there we had like kangaroos were commonplace and stuff like that. And so I do have memories of like when I was in infant school, a kangaroo had come onto the school oval and was eating from one of the bins. It was eating from one of the rubbish bins, but they had those like school lids on them with the little holes in the middle, and so when it pulled its head back up, it just got its head stuck in the hole. And so all the teachers had to like abandon their classes to go and help this kangaroo that was freaking out on the oval because it couldn't get this like tin off from around its neck. It had effectively become like a hybrid between a kangaroo and a frillneck lizard. Bill Gould! Once Wolfgang is concluded, lots left thankfully, yes there is, do you have another series or short film in mind you'd like to work on? I've always got little ideas of stuff I'd want to make in the back of my head, but very few of them become set in stone as like, I want to make this as a web series, or I want to make this a short film, until it's almost too late to make the thing and then I have to scramble and do it then. But the short answer is yes, I have lots of ideas of stuff that I want to make and projects that I want to work on with different people. If you were a god, what would be your domain and what petty punishments would you bestow upon humanity from Classy Done? I would like to think that my domain would be something colorful but annoying, like I don't know, goddess of dragonflies, or loud tropical parrots. And the petty punishments I would bestow upon humanity would be loud and annoying pretty things that you feel guilty about killing. What's your part of Australia like this time of year? When are you going to release a new D&D video, all caps? And third question, maybe, which do you prefer, fresh or sun-dried tomatoes? Ooh, Tom Mick coming in with the questions, coming in hot. Well, what's it like in my part of Australia this time of year? So there's that. when are you going to release a new D&D video? I'm happy to come out with a new D&D video as soon as I come up with something that I think is worthwhile sharing, or as soon as anyone asks me a question that makes me go, ooh, I have something interesting to say about that. I have this set of homebrew rules for like animal companions and familiars that I could share, but I don't think anyone will like that. I think that that's something that just makes the game weirder and probably harder, but I like it. I prefer fresh tomatoes. I like tomatoes in general, and fresh tomatoes are the best of the bunch. How long did it take you to write Wolfgang? It took, so it happened in a bunch of bursts because of a lot of reasons. Basically, the production is cursed, and it's just barely surviving. I like to use the metaphor for my life. I once witnessed my cousin Tom enter a speed skating contest at a roller skating rink, and he was very, very fast, but that was because he spent the entire race in the process of falling down, but would catch himself at the last second, and so he never actually hit the ground. He never quite face planted, and that's, I think, a great metaphor for my life and for Wolfgang as a production. So the first set of episodes, I definitely needed more time. First set of episodes was about 15 episodes that I wrote, and that got done in probably like a week and a half. The second set of episodes I think was 12-ish episodes, and that was much shorter. I had a lot of help from my sister Shannon, who's a writer. Shannon saved my life, and together we managed to write, I think, 12 episodes in about 4 days, something like that. And then there's the remainder to go. 40 minus however many I've listed already. Gia, if you had to choose between a flip of a coin or a rock, paper, scissors contest, I just added words to that, to settle every disagreement between me and Omar, which would be my preferred method to win with? Well, I mean, I have watched that number file video on how to win scissors, paper, rock, but having said that, I'm rubbish at it, and I always lose, and I get flustered, whereas right now, I have a coin in this shoe that's been there for a couple of years now, so I'm going with the coin. I'm going to assume it's lucky and that it's rubbed off on me. What is your favorite creature / non-human entity from movies and or books? Excluding mythological ones. Excluding mythological ones? Michael, what are you doing to me? What is your favorite creature, non-human entity? I love, okay, so many, but if we're discounting mythological ones, off the top of my head, my mind immediately goes to the aliens from Attack the Block, because they're so scary, but super cool. And also every now and then when I try to take photos of my black cat, she looks like one of them, and I'm like, suspicious of you, Custard. Gia, what are you more excited about, the next Star Wars or the next Incredibles? The next Incredibles, but also I'm super scared, because, okay, here's what it is. The Incredibles is basically a flawless film. Some of you out there will think that I'm joking. I assure you I am not. The Incredibles is so good, and I live in fear that Brad Bird doesn't know how good it is or why it's so good, and that he'll accidentally ruin it in the second one, and I don't want that. That terrifies me. People get shy when I film videos near them. Raggedy Man, James, tieflings or half-elves. I love both, and two of my major characters that I want to play all the time are a tiefling and a half-elf. I think I'm team half-elf. I just love them in my geek girl heart of hearts. Have you ever tried / had success DMing systems other than D&D, stories you'd like to share? Yeah, my group, when we could only get together like half of our usual number, I threw together a game of Fate that my group just loved, and they like instantly took to it and wanted to try running it themselves, and they wanted to create a game where we'd switch out who the DM was all the time, so that then I could play sometimes and they'd run the game. So that was pretty dope. It was a lot of fun seeing them come up with weird, I called it, what did I refer to the genre as? I called it something like weird dark superpowers. And Daniel, who you might know from Wolfgang, he plays Nyx, he created a character who had like blood manipulation powers, and it was disturbing as hell. Magnesium02, Easter themed question. What is your preferred method of eating hollow Easter eggs? Do you crush them and pick the shards? Do you gnaw them whole? Do you pick each scale one by one? I have in my lifetime gone through stages of each, so I'm glad that someone else out there recognizes the major forms of egg eating. Personally, after trying my hand at all of them, I think that I'm a fan of crushing them and picking out the shards. Joe Donnelly, what should I name my male half-drow celestial celestial warlock for my friend's upcoming Strad campaign. I would go with Ignatius. Miss Shenanigans, I love your name. If you could be a player at any DM's table, who would it be and why? It's probably super weird that I've never actually thought about this with all the Grandmaster DMs out there. Maybe Satine Phoenix? She seems like she'd be a brilliant DM to play with. Alexander Lundberg, what is your favorite place you've filmed a Q&A video at, and what would be your dream place to film one in the future? I think out of the places I've filmed so far, I really liked filming at the creek at Grandad's Block of Land, even if I did fall in the creek and re-damage my bad wrist. It was a nice spot. It was nice and it was shady and it was lovely. I don't know, what would be my dream location? Be cool to do one at, like, I don't know, the Grand Canyon or something. Wouldn't that be dope? On a scale of 7 to 10, says Dave, how adorable are baby echidnas? Picking closed for reference. See, baby echidnas, man, they freak me out a bit. They're a little too wibbly and like rubbery, which I find is the case with a lot of marsupials, but then they get to be the cutest animals in the world, so it's like... Omar asks pumpkin fruit or fruit, because he's the worst. So we get to end on that lovely note. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed the view. Thank the stars for automatic lighting whatevers. Boom. Oh, outro. Apart from that, I do believe that's it. I'm done. Email this to your grandma, and I'll see you some other time.